welcome back to the channel. And in this quick little video I'm going to be showing you my DBK knife. Now if you're a regular viewer, you know I've been waiting for this for quite a while, and as soon as I seen it on their YouTube channel I knew it would be a good knife. The boys know their stuff. Obviously they played with a lot of knives, they know what they're doing, and I really fancy this knife and I ordered one. Well, it's taken quite a while to arrive because of UK customs mainly, and I'm going to show it to you now. Now I won't be using this knife in this video, that'll be in a follow-up video. I'm not a fan of unboxing videos, I think they're pretty pointless, but I just wanted to go over this knife before I take it to the woods and use it. Comes in this rather fetching presentation box. And here it is. Now my first impression was, I don't particularly like that sheath. And I do remember them saying in the video that the sheaths were quite tight. Well, it's been in and out a few times, so it's not too bad now, so I'm not going to complain about it being too tight. I'm going to talk about the knife first, then get back to the sheath. Well, my first impressions, as soon as I took it out, were, that is nice. What a nice job. Beautifully finished. There's not a scratch around it, it's just really nice. We've got the DBK logo there, and on the back, on the spine, we've got TRC and LMAX. Now from experience, I quite like LMAX. I know a lot of people recently have been slating it, saying it's not that tough and it's good for edge retention but not particularly tough. Well, I'm sorry, I disagree with that. I hit hell out of my Falcon R2 Scout, which is a small knife in LMAX, and it was fine, it was great. So I've got no problem at all with LMAX. It's got, the grind on it I'd say is bordering between a Scandi Vex and a Sabre Vex. So somewhere in between. It's very sharp. Shaves no problem at all. I'm not going to do a paper test because I can't be bothered. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the knife. I think it's lovely. And it's got a sharpening coil which you don't see very often these days. The Corby bolts have been taken to an almost mirror polish, the same as the handle. Now I know a lot of people like their micarta handles rough, but if the handle's got the right shape to it, it really doesn't need to be rough. And this one is very comfortable. Let's say, I haven't used it yet, I haven't had the opportunity. My one gripe, the spine is sharp, but it's not super sharp. And seeing as the boys do go on about sharp spines, it's not as sharp as it could be. But I haven't tested it on a ferro rod or on fat wood or scraping or anything. We'll see that in the next video. Yes, I'm very impressed with this knife. To me, this knife is what the Falcon F1 Pro should have been. Not with the thermal handle and the bolster. This is what the F1 Pro should have been, and I have mentioned that before. When I even just saw pictures of the knife, I knew that. Yes, I like it. So far, so good. Sheath. It's got everything you need on it. It's got a dangler. It's got a regular belt loop. It smells nice. And it's got a ferro rod loop on it. Now the ferro rod loop I really don't like. It's quite thin. The leather's pretty thin on it. And I don't actually know whether a light my fire will fit in there. I haven't tried. That'll be the next video. I got one gripe with sheaths, and that is I don't like more material than needs to be on it. it just gives it extra bulk. Leg tie. Do you really need a leg tie on a knife this size? I don't think so. But that is one big copper rivet. And I am pondering on the idea whether it be any good as a bow drill socket at a push. Not ideal at a push. Yes, I love the knife. I'm not overly keen on the sheath. To me, it just seems a bit cheap. But it'll do the job. Obviously, I'm a knife maker and I'm a leather worker, and I am a bit fussy with my sheaths. Now, I'll digress a bit. About a week ago, I was making a knife for a customer, and I'd made the knife and I was halfway through the sheath, and I turned it over and I had a blob of glue on it, and it was an untreated sheath with a blob of glue. I tried to get the glue off, couldn't come off. That's it. Well, I thought I'll keep this sheath and I'll put my DBK knife in it. So that's what I did. The sheath was ready made, ready dyed. Now I usually dye form sheaths, meaning I'll make the sheath raw. I'll wrap the knife up. I'll dip dye it so it's pretty wet. Put the knife in, ram the knife in, and I'll manipulate it to shape. So it's the same as wet forming, you know, but you cut out the step. You don't need to actually soak it because dip dyeing does the job. So that's the sheath that I'm going to be using for my DBK knife. I carry a clip on my belt always, so I can clip the dangler on there. That is my preferred carry option. But if you're not as fussy as me, or you're not able to make, or you don't particularly want to pay somebody else to make another sheath, there is nothing wrong with that. That's just my personal preference for carry, is that. So if you watch the next video when I'm in the woods and you think that's not the DBK knife sheath, that is why. So just to recap, overall opinion, I really like this knife and I'm looking forward to using it. If it had been a Scandi grind knife, I don't think I'd have bought it because I make Scandi grinds, and out of every Scandi I've ever used, I prefer to use my own. And that's not me just trying to sell knives to you. I like my grind. I like a steep grind for shaving wood, and it lasts a lot longer. But because this was a Scandi Vex or Sabre Vex, whatever you want to call it, I pulled the plug on it and I spent my £340 on it. But I do like it. And yeah, that is the knife the F1 Pro should have been, with a decent sized handle for a man's hand. Right, well, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your views, I appreciate your comments, and I certainly appreciate a thumbs up. Until the next time, when I should be in the woods, I'll see you. Ta-ra!